the fastest tracks in the world and the site of round number 3 of the International Race of Champions. Hello and welcome. I'm Paul Page. At the start of IROC 17, we suggested to you a definite bias this year towards stock car drivers. All 4 rounds are contested on NASCAR's regular tracks. 5 of the 12 IROC competitors are stock car drivers. And here, at the halfway point in the season, the top 4 points holders are all stock car drivers. Now, as you know, tragically, the defending Winston Cup champion and IROC competitor Alan Kulwicki was killed in a private airplane crash. And today, another great champion comes forward to honor him. Let's go to Jack Arute.
Well, Alan Kulwicki's name is still on the windshield as well as in other parts of this IROC car and the number 8 where he stands in the points. But driving for the departed Alan Kulwicki in tribute to him is Dale Earnhardt.
Well, it's a tough way to be in the series, but it's pretty neat to be able to do it in memory and honor of Alan Kulwicki. I got to commend all the drivers for waiving their deal and letting Alan's points gain, and the money that he's going to, Alan's name's going to win in the IROC series is going to go to Alan's charities, his favorite charities, and in memory of him. So it's pretty neat to do it in honor of Alan Kulwicki, and we're just happy to be in it for him.
And Sam Posey, just another champion filling in for a departed champion.
Bobby, Dale Earnhardt and the other NASCAR drivers are certainly heavy favorites, but anyone can win this race. Davy Jones had a great drive going earlier this year at Daytona, and Al Unser Jr. is twice the IROC champion. He's tough every time out.
Yeah, but Sam, remember, Talladega is NASCAR stock car country. They do more testing and racing here than any other track in the South, and drafting is a secret here. They know what everybody else is trying to learn.
Still, you do feel that if anything unusual is going to happen, it might be here at Talladega, a track with a history of upsets.
Well, there's no question about that. The IROC racing is always the best right here at Talladega.
12 Dodge Daytonas are on the pace lap now, lined up in reverse order of the point standings. The front row, IndyCar driver Arie Luyendyk in powder blue and road racer Jeff Brabham in pink. The second row, Al Unser in a yellow car and road racer Jack Baldwin in rose. The third row, stock car driver Dale Earnhardt in a black car and Juan Fangio II from road racing in the lime car. The fourth row, Al Unser Jr. in a blue car, the IndyCar champion, and Dave Jones, a road racing driver, in the white car. In row number 5, Harry Gant from NASCAR, the cream-colored car, and Ricky Rudd, another NASCAR driver, in the red car. The sixth and final row, Bill Elliott from NASCAR in the mustard-colored machine, and Davey Allison, the current points leader, in the gold-colored car. 38 laps, 101 miles lie ahead in what Bobby Unser has already suggested to you is one of the most exciting circuits that the IROC ever sees. How will the stock car drivers come out? Where will Al Unser Jr. play into this fight because he is so adept at this kind of a course now and has run with these men so long? The pace quickens. They stream now toward the start-finish line. Arie Luyendyk has the field under control on the pole. The green flag is out, and already they are racing with Al Unser in the yellow car, moving down toward the inside, and they go across the line and into turn 1, 3 abreast. But Jeff Brabham, taking a high line, picks up a good groove. Al Unser is dropping way back as Jeff Brabham takes the lead. On board with Dale Earnhardt now. Now you'll notice on this car that Alan Kulwicki's name still appears everywhere on the car, and that's just the way that Dale Earnhardt wants it. That's Fangio just ahead of Earnhardt, as already he looks for room to the inside of Fangio. Ricky Rudd up ahead of Fangio. Earnhardt down inside of Rudd. And already Earnhardt moving as fast as he can toward the front as he comes alongside Brabham. And look at Earnhardt. Earnhardt to the front of this field. Right behind him is Arie Luyendyk. And the real veterans decide to come down to the low side of the race course. Look at Davy Jones back from Earnhardt's car as Jones comes up and plays this game solid. Fight continuing at the front of the field with Earnhardt, a spectacular first lap move, though not unexpected. Here comes Davy Jones again, and he helps Earnhardt along. As Rudd moves to the inside, he has Al Unser Jr. and Sr. just behind him. On the backstretch, still very close, Earnhardt, with Jones giving him a help at every corner.
Well, everybody needs just to watch who teams up with the other one, because everything here is predicated on drafting. The cars are equal. It's all predicated on drafting. You can watch like the left car. There, Ricky Rudd, look at Big Al right behind him. That's teamwork. And you notice how Big Al went way back, is now all of a sudden in third place.
Ricky Rudd hooks up with Earnhardt, forces Davy Jones out of the line. So it's Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, and then the two Unzers. But now, using the draft, Earnhardt and Rudd begin to pull away.
Dale Earnhardt is not the only driver here with a special tribute to Alan Kulwicki. Jack Garroot has an update.
Paul, in addition to the name Kulwicki on the side of the car that's being driven by Dale Earnhardt, each and every car in the field is carrying the initials as well, A and K, in tribute to their departed hero.
Back at the front of the field, it's Al Unser Jr. making a move on Ricky Rudd. Davey Allison sitting high with Earnhardt and just behind him. So we actually are running on two different groups, and now Al Unser Jr. is trying to occupy both of them.
Allison in the gold car. You've got to remember, Allison has never won a major championship of any kind, despite all his success. He is in every way in good shape to win this race as he comes up to battle with Al Unser Jr. And if Allison can clinch this race, he will clinch the IROC championship.
As they came across the stripe there, Allison for a moment had the lead, but then he fell back in the corner.
Look it up on the right-hand side. There's Earnhardt pushing little Al. Now, the idea is it's only the two of them. Look at all the guys on the left teaming up. But Earnhardt will probably bump him a little bit because he needs little Al. Here's how close he is. He's not quite bumping him. Little Al got back in line, left Al kind of hanging out right there. But they were really teaming up together.
Oh, as Al Unser gets into the wall, cracks into it hard. Brabham heads down across the infield. It looked like Harry Gant might have gotten in trouble with that one, too.
And there's Elliott spinning with the roof cam. You can just see on the top of Elliott's spinning car.
Al Unser Jr., or Al Unser, with serious damage to his car.
Well, it's been
And
raining all
Elliott.
night. That's why they're spinning around so much on the grass.
Elliott looks like his damage may be terminal as well for that machine. So he's still trying to keep it going. Look at him.
He's just playing now, Paul. He's not going anywhere, and he knows it. He just have a little ball out there because the grass is really wet.
So the caution is out for the first time at Talladega. Ricky Rudd leads it, but it's still not dominated by the Winston Cup drivers. We'll be back. Back at Talladega with the IROC still under caution. So let's take a look at that accident and what may have caused it, Bobby Unser.
Well, you can watch. There's Big Al in the yellow car coming up. Well, it looked to me like it was Fangio was caught right in the middle. There was no place to go. Big Al bumped him, started spinning, caused everybody else just to get loose. And you can watch the cars down the grass. They have literally no control. There's Elliott spinning around there. Really not much control of the car, just sliding around.
Fangio continued on. So did Jeff Brabham, who was involved. But he just cut across the grass and kept on going. Here's another view, Sam Posey.
It looks to me as if Fangio touched the car on his right, which was Elliott, and then came back into Big Al, don't you think?
Yes, I agree with you, Sam. If you looked at it from that side, it looked like Fangio just barely touched Big Al and got Big Al sideways.
Onboard camera view. This is from the top of Elliott's car.
Now, if you're inclined to get dizzy, watch out.
And you can see Big Al's car just got a sudden jolt, went to the left. So that was Fangio that tapped him just a little bit. Fangio, I think, got a little help from the other car, though.
So with all that now, the field is realigned. Al Unser Sr.'s car at the back of this lineup, minus a right front fender and some severe damage to the front. At the front of the field, it is Ricky Rudd, followed by Al Unser Jr., Davey Allison, despite his problem, Arie Luyendyk, and then Dale Earnhardt. As the field now comes to the green flag once again. Lap number 5 complete, and they are back to racing speed.
What did we say about this race and this track? Expect the unexpected. And Rudd brought them up very slowly. A tactical maneuver, very interesting.
You know, the racing was so close, Sam, that they just bumped a little tiny bit. When they start running 3 or 4 breaths, sooner or later you're going to have somebody touch just a little bit.
Now Earnhardt looks to the inside, picks up a little help from Fangio as they come alongside Arie Luyendyk, and Earnhardt back looking for the front of the field once again.
Benny Parsons took Fangio to a southern cookout yesterday. got him some banana dumplings and some barbecue, and I think it's had some effect here. He seems to be able to run with the stock car man now.
Well, you can sure tell right after that little accident they've had, everybody's really cooled their heels just a little bit. They're all running straight, and they're going to feel things to see if any of their cars got damaged. There's Earnhardt moving, though.
Earnhardt looking low as they come across the stripe. Look at the tremendous change in complexion of the point standing. Bill Elliott, who was second in the points, coming into this run out of the race. Allison, questionable with that gasket that had to be replaced. While the assumption is that the repair was excellent, there still could be a problem there. And Al Unser pulls off of the course. Apparently the damage too severe to his car, so Al Unser will come out of this fight.
When you've got a right front fender off, Paul, you're just blocking or pushing so much air, the car just will not go fast at high speed.
Ricky Rudd, as he continues to maneuver around the front of this field, up so very close to the wall.
These speeds are close to the 190-mile-an-hour range. So what you're seeing is maneuvering at extremely high speed. And when you're that close to the wall, you get a cushion of air that builds up between the side of the car and the wall that affects your handling.
You can just see how much straighter they're running. Nobody's really trying an awful lot of passing now. It's amazing what one little accident has done. But pretty soon, somebody will try it and it'll all break loose. Right here's going to start.
This is aggressive racing by Fangio. You see him there in the live green car sweeping into second, right behind Dale Earnhardt.
He's actually touching Dale right there. Actually gave Dale a push right on by little Al.
And then he quickly moved up into that ideal drafting position in the turn, which is just slightly higher than the car in front of you.
With help from Lyondike, down low is Allison. At the front of the field is Earnhardt. Fangio continues to help him out. Al Unser Jr. sits back a bit, looking back from Earnhardt's car. There's the help from Fangio. Just a little tap. Thank you very much.
It's amazing that they can do that at these speeds on a super speedway and get away with it. Now, there is a competitor in trouble. Let's go to Jack Arute with this update from the pits.
Paul, Davey Allison had a very close call during this caution period. As he pulled his car onto pit road, it began to emit a lot of smoke from underneath the hood. The IROC mechanics took a look, and what was happening is the oil was billowing out of this breather cap. So as a quick fix, what they have done is they have wrapped a rag around it, hoping that it will contain enough absorbency to hold the oil as it blows out for the rest of this race.
Ari Lyondike down low. As Allison slides backward, he really got caught out there. Keep in mind the repair on that motor. It could be tentative, and we don't know how much oil got out of there. That could affect Allison's run.
See, you got to think, put yourself in Allison's mind right now. He's got a commanding lead in the championship. His nearest pursuer, Bill Elliott, is back in the pit. So he's got to think, how much do I really have to do to maintain my lead in the championship? As I said earlier, he's never won a championship, so he's playing this thing very cautiously, I think.
Look at the two surprises right now. Fangio out in front, Brabham right behind. Little Al's in there, Earnhardt, but look at those two leading, Fangio and Brabham. Now those guys are really up to date.
Interestingly, Bobby, Brabham is just back from Europe, where he was running a Peugeot at Le Mans. And so he's just off the airplane and into his race car here.
And he did look a little tired when he showed up in the pits this morning. Long flight back through Miami to get to Talladega to run here.
And how's this for a surprise? A road racer runs first, an IndyCar driver is second at Talladega. We'll be back. Back at Talladega, you ride in 7th spot with Davy Jones, a remarkable and polite young driver with an amazing background. Here's Jack.
For Davy Jones, racing started as a childhood fantasy. Go-karts and then quarter midgets allowed the 10-year-old Davy to pretend he was Parnelli Jones and A.J. Foyt. First a homemade track around his parents' Illinois farm, then real races on a quarter midget track outside of Syracuse, New York. By 16, he was no longer pretending.
It's something that started out as a family hobby, and it grew into profession. But, you know, not really having, you know, a name in the sport and having, you know, the people to point us in the right direction. You know, we just took a lot of advice from everybody. You know, we'll say we spent a lot of money to get to a level, you know, to where, you know, it's like, wait a minute, you know, this racing is getting really, you know, expensive. You either have to pursue it as a career or you have to go on to school.
Instead of school, Jones chose the European Formula 3 Series, learning his trade, competing against the likes of Ayrton Senna. By 1982, it was Super V's, Rookie of the Year honors, and then the Series Championship in '85 were his rewards. His star on the rise, Davy Jones moved to IMSA's GTP Series and poetically scored his first victory at a track only 30 miles from where he first drove those quarter midgets. A win in the 24 Hours of Daytona and 10 more trips to victory lane established that Davy Jones had road racing expertise. But last year's performance in IROC's Talladega outing showed the world that he was equally at home on an oval and able to adapt to diverse equipment.
And here's a car that weighs almost twice as much as what I'm used to. It's a big mass moving through the air. It's very soft and it floats around, and the wheel, you know, goes 3-4 inches back and forth. And it is just generally a lot of fun to drive, you know, and I've never had so much fun in my entire racing career as that I have had in the past 5 or 6 IROC races.
And a problem on the track as Arie Luyendyk loses it and sends everybody spinning. As they came onto the backstretch, Luyendyk just lost the nose of the car, and that got Allison and everybody running alongside of him. Davy Jones spins, Luyendyk spins, Allison, most of the back of the field, and Davy Allison, the points leader, rolls to a stop. There's Luyendyk's car with damage to the front. Earnhardt will bring them around to the stripe, but the laps under yellow do not count. Davy Jones dead stopped on the backstretch. So at lap 12, the second yellow of the day, as Allison does get restarted and heads back for the race course.
It killed the engine. Now this is the guy that's the Allison that's really going for the points battle the hardest right now. He really needed to get that engine started, and he killed the engine. You know, when they hit that grass, they have no control whatsoever, so they lock the brakes.
Here it is again. Now keep an eye on that light blue car. That's Arie Luyendyk. And it looks like he gets touched by Al Unser Jr., Bobby.
Yes, he certainly did. Little Al just put his right front fender right up against Luyendyk's left rear and spun him out. And of course, you got to remember, the smoke to us looks like it's really easy, but to the drivers that are behind that smoke, they can't tell where everything is going. Watch it again now. The dark blue car, Little Al, just leans right up against the light blue car, spins it around. Little Al keeps going, no problems. In the meantime, starts collecting the white one, the red one. Look at the cars just going everywhere because they can't see.
Incredible chain reaction with Luyendyk just going down the line and picking off one car after another, taking out 3 cars with him.
Same accident, another view. You can see the touch there, but look at the hit on Rudd's car. He really slapped into Rudd. That pushed Rudd into Jones, and then he spun around and caught Brabham.
You know, someone that likes billiards would know how to analyze this, because that's what happened. It was such it triggered things forward and backward of the original hit.
And you know, some of the guys didn't even see it coming. They just all of a sudden got tapped in the back like Davy Jones. He didn't even know that it was going to happen because it was out of his view. All of a sudden he's going backwards, and of course he did end up hitting the wall.
Jay Signori's IROC crew falls on Davy Allison's Dodge Daytona. The windshield's coming out of there. Change of tires and wheels all around. And the points leader is in trouble in the pits. Here's Jack.
Davy, what happened?
Had a couple cars got together over there in 3 and 4, and I was watching them, and I had a miss, and I just ran right in the wall all by myself up there on the outside. You know, it's just, I was watching them more than where I was going, and it was my fault.
This is Davy Jones's onboard camera. Remember, he was the white car. Some very expensive noises. For a further update on the accident, here's Jack.
Well, it looks like a used car lot down here on pit road. Now remember, IROC only utilizes 2 pits, but at the present time, there are 4 cars, actually 5, that are awaiting service. Davy Allison and Ricky Rudd have completed their work, but Davy Jones, we'll see if we can get a word with him and to determine exactly what happened out there. Davy, what was it?
Well, Jack, I was on the outside line, the high line. There was 2 rows. Somebody had, I think it started to spin. It was Arie Luyendyk, and I thought that I could sneak past him on the outside, which I did. I touched Little Al with the front corner, and it kind of sent him straight. And I thought we both made it through, both Little Al and myself, and I got hit in the rear corner, and it just spun me around. So from there, it was just hoping that I didn't hit anything too hard. But you know, now it's just waiting to see if we can get back out there or not. Tough day.
So as the IROC crews try to make repairs to the damaged race cars, they all sit on pit road. We'll be back with more of IROC 17. Back at Talladega, the International Race of Champions as they come toward the green once again, this time led by Juan Fangio. And the field straggling toward the green. Damage on every car left in this field with the exception of Dale Earnhardt. He sits in third place now, picks up behind Al Unser Jr., and they go racing in the high groove.
Yeah, look at little Al and Dale teaming up. Little Al moves up. Dale's going to get behind him. Try to polish off Fangio in a hurry, and they should be able to do that if they stay hooked up together.
You wonder what's in little Al's mind right now. It was pretty clear he was the one. There's a bump draft there by Earnhardt, of course, on the straightaway. But you wonder, little Al knows he triggered that massive pileup just now. Yet he's got to come back and shake that off, put that mistake behind him, and fight for the lead.
Earnhardt with Brabham just behind him. Ricky Rudd up alongside of Allison. Allison staying in this fight, the points leader coming into this race.
I'm surprised Brabham's car is running that fast with that much aerodynamic damage. If he gets out of the draft in that pink car that's now running third, he's dead. He's got to be in the draft.
Sometimes you find out where the bad area is and where the good area is on cars, because tape sometimes replaces the fenders as it's doing today. Look at the left front fender of Brabham's car. All tape.
You know, Brabham seems like such a mild-mannered guy, but you get him fired up, and he is a real racer, and I suspect that these accidents have really fired up Jeff Brabham.
Al Unser Jr. with a little help from his friend Dale Earnhardt, who drifts back while they get into the corner. Rudd closes in on Brabham. Allison on Rudd. Fangio back behind them.
Allison must be kind of breathing heavy. Hey, I'm still in this thing with a chance to extend my championship lead.
Well, you know, Davey doesn't look like he's bent so bad. Right there on the left, leading the left pack or the inside pack, doesn't look like he's bent so bad, but when he spun again, he killed his engine. Now, when the engines are hot, sometimes they don't start so easy. We were all front and helping him get his started when it went.
Jack Baldwin goes to the high side and joins up with this group as again Earnhardt pushing Al Unser Jr. on the backside.
Before the Daytona 500 this year, we saw Al Unser Jr., Dale Earnhardt in the Goodyear suite talking not just for a few minutes with each other, but for more than an hour. They share a lot of thoughts, a lot of similar emotions about how to go racing, and I know they've exchanged some tips about drafting. So these two guys have a lot going between them.
Baldwin and Fangio side by side, very close together. Rudd in that fight too. Now Allison and Brabham separate out, and they look for racing room down on the low groove.
And you know, they're just as fast that way. Unfortunately, Allison left Brabham down there. Brabham's going to slide right back here by the time they get the next straightaway if he can't squeeze in, because the teamwork ended after just a little bit of it.
Brabham could be in trouble now as he sits down low, and Baldwin closes up behind Allison and gives Brabham no opportunity, but despite now he moves into the line behind him.
Boy, he didn't even turn his turn signals on for that one. He just went in there.
Back from Earnhardt to Allison.
Two of the very best stock car drivers in the business, Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison, running only inches apart here at Talladega.
Davey is really concerned. He's in the left lane right behind Earnhardt now. He's really concerned because he's gone through heck today. He doesn't want to drop out of this race probably more than anybody just because of the points battle.
They force Al Unser Jr. back into 5th place as all of the remaining field, and that's it right there. Of the 12 that started, this is what's left. And only that black car, labeled Kawicki, but driven by Earnhardt out in front, is the only one unscathed.
Davey took off to the left, passing Earnhardt there, and right away he got some help. Earnhardt now is going to go on back. Look at all the guys trying to plug that hole real quick.
Harry Gant into the pits responding to a black flag as they look again at the damage on his car. Now Earnhardt slides all the way to the back, and he'll have to pick up some help from his NASCAR companion Ricky Rudd.
Little Al was just back there about where Dale is right now, and he's slowly coming back up. If Dale gets to Little Al, they make pretty good teammates as far as passing goes.
Despite all of his earlier problems, Davey Allison is the leader, being pursued by the Trans Am champion, Jack Baldwin. Jack Baldwin just behind him, and Al Unser Jr. is there as well.
It's always what the other guys do causes where you're going to be. You have to have teammates in this. We watched Earnhardt, who's in the black car, slide way back. Little Al's leading a little while. Go, he's back in third place now. It's all together on how you team up. So keep watching how the cars team up together.
But what a surprise to see road racers Jeff Brabham and Jack Baldwin at the front of this field right now.
Well, it's the point we made at the beginning that you can expect the unexpected here, but this is really astonishing, particularly Brabham with his damaged car. The engineers worked so hard on the aerodynamics of these Dodge Daytonas, and here's one with extensive damage to the left front, running fast up front, which I didn't think was possible.
Damaged car, fatigue from a transoceanic flight, and Jeff Brabham is still at the front of the field. Jack Baldwin second, Al Unser Jr. third, then Davey Allison and Dale Earnhardt. Fangio and Rudd sit back just a little bit further.
Just remember, though, on these road racers versus NASCAR drivers, stuff like that, Fangio in the Lions car. Look at the racing now. Back to 4 abreast. Look at that.
4 abreast as Earnhardt looks to the inside of Baldwin. Baldwin had the lead for a moment. Al Unser Jr. on the high side. Earnhardt runs down low. They are still 3 abreast, coming off to the corner. And Earnhardt finally forges ahead of Baldwin. Baldwin to second, Al Unser Jr. to third.
A patented Earnhardt pass down low. You see it all the time in Winston Cup racing. You just saw it here in IROC. Terrific stuff.
Back from Earnhardt now as Baldwin and Al Unser Jr. fight. Baldwin with the advantage of Jeff Brabham just behind him. You got a good look there at the damage on Brabham's car. We have a lot of damaged cars and some interesting repairs. Here's Jack.
Well, we've certainly seen more than our share of damage to these cars today. When they begin to tear themselves up, it distorts the body style and can upset the air. But what many of the mechanics will utilize is this duct tape to try and make the repairs. What they simply do is tear off pieces to cover the problem, kind of like a Band-Aid. What it does is it restores as best as possible the aerodynamic shape back to the car. Of all the tools in a mechanic's toolbox, many say this is the racer's best friend.
Earnhardt driving for Alan Kulwicki moves to the inside.
Whoa, look at Fangio pushing Brabham.
He's down so low on the racetrack, he was stirring up dust. Did you see the dust the camera was catching there? All the dirt on the track where nobody runs.
I did it. You know, Bobby, before the race, Jay Signori, the mechanical mastermind behind the preparation of all these Daytonas, told me they'd never had a field so closely bunched. The cars seem more equal. They're supposed to be equal. They are equal, but they're really equal this time, and you can see it in this race.
If we had to pick which driver today has done the best, who has been the most tactical, the bravest, or whatever, you would just have to throw a blanket over all of them. This group right here, the ones that haven't been wrecked, have really all done a masterful job today.
Okay, but the guy on the right of your screen, Juan Fangio Jr., the second, is doing more with less experience in this form of racing than anyone in the race. Agreed?
I agree. He's done very good, Sam.
Brabham at the front. Fangio just behind him. Al Unser Jr. helping Earnhardt now. Baldwin high. Allison sits in between Baldwin with Ricky Rudd still pulling up at the back of the field.
You know, another thing that I've noticed today, whether it's been the wrecked cars or the guys that are still running right now, there's been no teamwork that's been consistent. All the guys have switched from one person to the other as the race has gone on. They've really just teamed up with anybody that they thought they could carry it back to the front.
Speaking of back to the front, here comes Dale Earnhardt making that move that takes him clear back into the lead. You see him on the left in the black car. Look at the heavy skies. Rain in the air here. Of course, we're hoping it'll hold off until after the race, but rain is in the forecast here in Talladega.
Back from the leader, Earnhardt. He continues to look for any opportunity to get away from the number 6 car. The blue machine of Al Unser Jr. But look at Al close in. Now he moves to the inside.
It looks like Jason Urey went to a wrecking yard in Bayonne, New Jersey, and got this field of cars together. Look at him.
Just look at little Al. As soon as he passed, Baldwin jumped right over. As soon as he went to the left, Earnhardt, Baldwin jumped right over and followed him. Look at Fangio. Shifted Earnhardt, clear back to 4th place, no more than 3/4 of a lap. Just shows how important, Sam, that the drafting really is.
Tactically now, Al Unser Jr. in a much better position because he is separated from Earnhardt. But at the same time, Earnhardt now hooks up with Davey Allison. Where does this end up? Al Unser Jr. in front, followed by Baldwin and Fangio. Then Earnhardt, Allison, and Ricky Rudd. Back at Talladega, Al Unser Jr. still leads. Jack Baldwin is second. Earnhardt now battles with Fangio. Allison stays in close contact with Earnhardt.
You can see Fangio when he moved out to the right there. Now, there's where the lack of experience shows up, Paul, because he got out of the draft. He thought he had enough horsepower to go by, but horsepower doesn't count as much as drafting does right here. So there sometimes you can see the little bit lack of experience.
Earnhardt for a moment on the backside, looked for any clean air he could find, moved to the left, now comes back into line, trying to pick up the draft off the back of Baldwin's car.
And he's got it. See Earnhardt suddenly begin to pick up. That's not because he goes to the accelerator. This is a tight one. But just because the draft really begins to work when you're 2 or 3 car lengths back.
Well, it gets a run, and you're running in a vacuum of air, and you're not pushing the air the other guys are. Look at the teamwork you got with Allison. And, you know, there's that lime green car of Fangio's again. It doesn't make any difference. Whoever's going to front, he jumped in on the bandwagon.
Let me tell you, any one of these top guys can win this race. There's no way at this stage, I wouldn't say, to pick a favorite. You might lean toward the more experienced NASCAR men, maybe particularly Earnhardt, but it's been obvious here that the rookies, like Fangio, have a real chance.
Well, one of the reasons that a man like Fangio has an opportunity here is because the concept of the IROC is to eliminate the mechanical advantage. But that is a year-long effort by the IROC crews under the direction of Jay Signori. And it's a subject of our true value mechanics of racing.
The IROC stable is made up of 24 race-ready cars. Now, from their original design, through their construction, through practice, to the drop of the green flag, every effort is made to ensure their overall equality. Each car starts out with an identically built chassis, to which IROC mechanics attach identically prepared body panels in precisely the same manner, so as to ensure overall aerodynamic conformity. Every engine is tested on an engine dynamometer, and its torque and its horsepower is measured and recorded. When these race cars leave the shop in New Jersey, they are indeed equal. Once they're offloaded at a racetrack, though, the IROC mechanics utilize a sophisticated series of tests to make sure that they stay equal. Every car is track tested by 3 test drivers, Dave Marcus, Jim Sauter, and Dick Trickle. In addition to overall lap times, each car is clocked to measure lap segments. Straightaway times, corner entry, corner exit, and corner times are taken and compared. An onboard telemetry package also measures performance characteristics of each individual component, providing hard data from which mechanics can make adjustments if one car shows superiority over another. Each car's history is recorded in a notebook, and a statistical setup sheet is provided for every car and every racetrack. Springs are rated to determine their accuracy. Tires are measured and temperatures taken. Engine performance is also closely monitored. Mechanics routinely inspect each engine for any sign of wear or potential failure. All of these efforts have time and time again produced a fleet of cars that are as equal as humanly possible. So much so, in fact, that the performance profile for each of these IROC cars varies only by plus or minus 3%.
And Davey Allison, the points leader, is back at the front of the field once again.
Now you see Earnhardt creeping up. And just like we said, there's the lime green car, Fangio slowly going backwards. There's Earnhardt getting up to Allison. Now pretty soon it'll probably cool the radiator down a little bit, get up there and start pushing Earnhardt a little bit so he can get by Davey.
What's in the colors? Allison going for gold, driving a gold car. That sentiment. Earnhardt always the predator there in the black car. You really get a feeling for their personalities by just looking at the colors of the cars they've drawn this time.
Half the field hooked up together, 6 cars, 3 battling for the lead. Harry Gant and Jeff Brabham still circling the track, hoping for points. And Earnhardt battling with Al Unser Jr. and Davey Allison.
That was a planned thing. As soon as you saw Earnhardt going into turn 1, pulled down to go by Allison, little Al just teamed right up with him. 2 of those have been sticking pretty tight. They've been teaming up at least more than most of them have during this race.
Al Unser Jr. moving down on the inside, and Bobby, your point exactly, that as the race nears its completion now, the more experienced drivers are hooking up with each other in patterns that they recognize on the racetrack. And yesterday, Davey Allison told Jack LaRue, the essence of being a champion is recognizing things on the track. And obviously, if you've been in this situation before, you have the NASCAR men's experience and Little Al's experience. It's going to pay off in moments like this.
Fangio, the lime green car, tried to move to the inside, got no help from anyone, now falls back into fourth place alongside Earnhardt. Al Unser Jr. still leads Davey Allison. Talladega with Al Unser Jr. running in front.
There's Davey Allison's wife in the pits. She is excited with every reason because Allison may be doing a race right now which will help him cement his chances in the championship.
Now breaking the draft for Little Al and Allison didn't work. All he had to do is the other guys get back in line. They caught him in less than a lap. That's an indication of how competitive and how things change at a track like Talladega.
3 circuits to go at Talladega. Jack Baldwin stays in the fight in second place. Earnhardt closes up on Baldwin.
Earnhardt literally stalking the lead. He held back, perhaps cooling his tires just a bit, and then has started his move toward the front.
Sam, I don't think tires are really much of a factor today. The Talladega track is the highest bank track that they run on, and tires are just not a factor. But what's the factor here is that doggone drafting and never knowing who's going to team up with who.
An IndyCar driver, Al Unser Jr. at the lead. A road racer, Jack Baldwin second. And then 2 NASCAR drivers, Dale Earnhardt and Davey Allison, followed by Juan Fangio, a road racer with 2 laps to go now.
Now we have Earnhardt going down, and you see Allison just as soon as he pulled down, Allison teams up, and there'll be bumping going up. Now there's Earnhardt, who's got back up to second place now. We've never seen better racing or any closer than what we're seeing now. The only thing Little Al's liking about this right now is so far they're fighting amongst themselves and leaving him alone. But that won't last long.
They're not going to leave. No, they're not going to leave him alone for long. Here it comes. Earnhardt, I think, has already made physical contact, and here comes Allison on the outside.
6 cars run together as they pass under the white flag with 1 lap to go. Al Unser Jr. still out in front. Davey Allison comes up to the outside of Al Unser Jr. Earnhardt stuck back in the pack. Baldwin moving to the outside with Fangio closing up on Baldwin. It's 2 cars side by side, Allison and Al Unser Jr. as they come to the backstretch on this, the final lap.
A mix of road racers and NASCAR men.
Now watch Earnhardt. Now he's going to come out there, and if he can, if there's time enough left, which there isn't much, he'll try to bump Little Al, but he's running out of time. He's not going to be able to help it.
Earnhardt tries to close in. Rudd moves in trying to help Earnhardt, but the battle is between Davey Allison and Al Unser Jr. As Al Unser Jr. comes to the high side, tries to take any help that he can away from Davey, and Davey Allison slides backwards. As now it's Earnhardt and Baldwin battling for second place, and Al Unser Jr. leads them toward the line, but can he hold on? Earnhardt makes his move down to the inside, and Al Unser Jr. holds on and wins it. And boy, they were close for second, but it looked like Jack Baldwin